Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 2 of me predicting NFL free agency. Last video did hit the 3,500 likes I asked for, thank you very much. So today we will be doing defensive players and some offensive players. Not a whole lot though, tight ends and an O-lineman. Real quick before we hop into the video, don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. Dude, if Mac McClung wouldn't have gotten robbed out of that first dunk, I would have won $400. I won $300, which I'm really happy about, but he got robbed in the first round. Anyway, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright, so first off, we have got Stefon Gilmore, the soon-to-be senior citizen. He's actually not that old, but he will be 34 at the start of next season. Now, again, I didn't do too much research into this. I don't know if he's thinking about retiring. I can't imagine he is, but if I could see him go anywhere this offseason, I would want to see him go to Atlanta. Dude, that would be sick. Put him back there with Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell. That secondary is going to be deadly. We just saw Gilmore last season. He can still play. It's just Father Time is catching up with him. However, I don't think it's going to hold him down quite yet. Moving on to the next player, it is Micah Hyde, another one who will be 33 or 34 at the start of next season. And as much as I like this guy, I do think his time in Buffalo has come to an end. For one, we're dealing with enormous cap hit issues this offseason. And for two, he has just had some injuries that have kind of lingered his career down over the last 2 seasons. Even though this year he was able to play 14 games. But it would appear that both sides are going to mutually just kind of part ways now. As far as where he's going to go, he could go anywhere, but the 2 teams I'd like to see him go to are either Green Bay or the Colts. I think if he went to the Colts, he'd be playing a ton. And I think if he went to Green Bay, they'd be using him as more of a situational veteran key moment kind of guy to, keep his health in check because he still is a playmaker and you don't want to get him banged up. And also, I don't want to dare put this into the air, but I could actually see him retiring too, just because of his neck injuries. He has nothing left to prove. He's had a great career. He could go do something else, and I think everyone would understand. All right, up next, we've got Budda Baker, and this one's weird because he's a club option, but I do think he is going to get released because it will save the Cardinals $14 million if they do it, and whether it's free agency or a trade that's worked out, either way, I think Budda will end up as an Eagle. Just an Eagles thing to do. Are you fucking kidding me? Kevin Byard, James Bradbury, Darius Slay, Shaquille Leonard. Add Budda Baker to the pile of guys that were once extremely elite and have now slowed down, so they went to Philadelphia. After Budda, we've got Chauncey Gardner Johnson. I think he stays right in Detroit. He didn't get a real chance to play there this year. He wants to be a part of it. I think they want him to be part of it. I don't see him going anywhere. That'll bring us to Jordan Whitehead. I think he goes to the Steelers because I've just been reading that non-stop. I think he went to Pittsburgh for college. He might have grown up there. Not sure about that. Steelers are in need of a safety. It just makes sense. Well, another safety, I should say. No disrespect to Minka, but I just don't know who the hell their other guy even is. Up next, we got Antoine Winfield Jr. Hear me out. We're going to go fantasy versus reality. My fantasy is somehow, some way, he comes home. He comes to the Vikings. If that happened, I would literally run to Florida and walk his bags back to Minnesota. But it ain't going to happen. The reality of the situation is this man is about to be slapped so hard with a franchise tag that he dislocates his jaw and fractures his eye socket. They are sitting there smacking their hands because I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow that they can start franchise tagging people. And as soon as he gets out of bed, it's going to be... Hi! Bam! Now we've got Danielle Hunter, and this one is going to kill me. It's going to shatter me. Not only is he leaving the Vikings, but I think he's going right to the Dolphins. Ugh. Vikings can't keep him. If they want to extend Jefferson and re-sign Kirk, Danielle is out of the equation. I think he's going to want to go somewhere far away. He's going to want to go somewhere warm, and he's going to want to go somewhere that's contending. Ding, 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 ding. It's the Miami Dolphins. If they can afford to sign him and he's okay with getting all the way to the end of the season and shitting the bed and going right to the couch. But their coach tells funny jokes. To be absolutely serious, though, I'll double down on Florida. If he doesn't go to Miami, he goes to Jacksonville because that's been rumored forever, and they are losing Josh Allen. Now we got Zadarius Smith, and I think he goes to the Bears. 1, that's a Bears move, and for 2, he will not play somewhere more than 1 year in a row because Zadarius Smith needs to be able to take a selfie at the start of the season in front of a new stadium saying, very excited to be here. That guy is such a douchebag. I don't care if he's good. He is a douchebag. Bears will sign him to 1 year, $12 million. After Zadarius Smith, we've got Josh Allen on the Jags. Hear me out here. This is gonna happen. It's gonna be the story of the summer, the story of next season. Josh Allen from the Bills is gonna take a massive pay cut this year to get Josh Allen from the Jags. The whole summer, that's all we're gonna hear is how Josh Allen went out and signed Josh Allen. How Josh Allen went to go play with Josh Allen. Believe! That'll bring us to Patrick Queen. I think he goes to Houston. Dude, this guy's a beast. I don't think he's really ever been that hurt, and I don't think the Ravens are gonna tag him. They could, but I don't think they will. I think Houston would be a perfect spot for him. Just a young, dominant team that's exploding into the spotlight, and he has an opportunity to go and join that. Well, I would assume he would. They would want him. Why wouldn't they? So in my perfect world scenario, that's where he ends up. And up next, we've got Devin White. Don't worry, Baltimore fans. I think he is coming over to you guys to replace the hole made by Patrick Queen leaving. Devin White's 26. He's still young, and the guy can actually impact the passing game quite a bit. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't think he is as good as Patrick Queen, but I also think he's underrated in the aspect that a lot of people like to talk about Devin White as if he's shit. Just because you're not a Pro Bowl or an All-Pro player every year doesn't mean you're ass, man. I think Devin White to Baltimore, if Patrick Queen leaves, would be a very good move. All right, up next, we've got Chris Jones. Now, the Chiefs did pick up his option, but that doesn't mean he's going to play there. That just means they can franchise tag him if they choose. However, I don't think they're going to. I think Chris Jones is going to go to the Bengals. That's been rumored for a long time, and it makes sense. I don't see him leaving the AFC, and I only see him going to a team that's going to contend and a team that's in a very similar situation to Kansas City, which the Bengals are. If Joe Burrow wasn't hurt this year, they would have been in the playoffs. Everybody knows it. And on top of that, I think Cincinnati would love nothing more than to steal Kansas City's biggest defensive pawn. And obviously in my skit, I know I made the joke that he wants to go somewhere for a challenge. That's a skit. I don't think this guy wants to go to a team that's actually gonna suck. Up next, we've got Bobby Wagner. I think he is a Minnesota Viking. He can still make good plays. He's just getting old, and the Minnesota Vikings aren't going to have a ton of money like I was just talking about. However, they will have some to make a smaller splash in the pot, and I think it'll be enough to ink down someone like Bobby Wagner for a year if they choose to, and I think it would be a decent fit. Another guy I actually have the Vikings targeting, he's not even on this list, but Javon Kinlaw, I could see him going to Minnesota too. I don't think both, but you got to assume Minnesota, if they do lose Danielle Hunter, I don't think Davenport's going to come back even like he fucking played to begin with. They will get someone, just not of a huge caliber. Real quick after Bobby, we got Leonard Williams, and this guy I feel terrible for. I just want him to go to a team that doesn't suck. He's played on 3 horrible teams over his career. I mean, he did win a playoff game with the Giants, but they still have never been really that good. The Seahawks sucked. The Jets sucked. Send him to Tampa Bay. That'd be cool. All right, now going to our one offensive lineman. It's actually Jason Kelce, and I do not believe he is going to retire. And if he does retire, it will not be for the entire season of next season, whether it's preseason or in the middle of the year. Jason Kelce will be a Chief. And here's the thing about it, and hear me out on this one, that's not going to make him a super team. Even if the Chiefs get Mike Evans and Jason Kelce both, they're not going to be a super team. Look, this team has arguably the best quarterback, tight end, and coach in the history of history. Aside from those 3, their defense is good, but it's just executed to perfection. And their offensive weapons outside of, Rasheed, Pacheco, and Kelce, like they suck ass. Like, this team is just run extremely, extremely well. With the addition of, yes, some great components, but it's not like you look at their roster and think that they have the greatest roster in the league. At least I don't think it. Therefore, when Kelce goes there, I ain't gonna bitch about it. And now we're just going to end with a couple of tight ends. I know it's kind of lousy because the tight end pool stinks, but I wanted to give them some attention. So the first tight end I'm going to talk about is Hunter Henry. I think he's a Denver Bronco. Hunter Henry is a good tight end, and the Broncos haven't had a good tight end in, 10 years? Deadass, I think Julius Thomas is the last tight end they had to make a fucking Pro Bowl. Get Hunter Henry. Get the big mattress. He's going to be cheap. He's going to be reliable. He's going to get you 600 yards and 6 touchdowns a season. Like, that's what you need. It's better than what you've had. So do it. And the last tight end we got is Dalton Schultz, and I don't think he goes anywhere. I don't think he wants to go anywhere. I don't think Houston wants him to go anywhere. I think it's going to be a very, very reasonable contract that inks him down there for 3 to 4 years. Dalton Schultz is a good tight end, man. You go look at his years in Dallas, there was pretty much 2 seasons Dak wasn't there, and he still did exceptional without Dak, with Dak. Then he went to a completely different team where, yeah, they had CJ Stroud, but continues to thrive. There's no reason either side should want to walk away here. I like Dalton where he is, and I want him to stay put. And that is all I got, ladies and gentlemen, for part 2 of me predicting NFL free agency. If you guys like this video, you already know what to do to show support and try to turn that bell on. I post as often as I can. However, with everything I said, I'm going to get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and as always, I will see you in the next video.